Hi everyone. Hope all of you doing great today. So please, before we start our session, I need to make sure that everything is working perfect. Please confirm that you can hear my voice clear and you can see also my screen. Okay, perfect. Nice to see you again, Bakr. Okay, thank you, Fatma. Okay, welcome to another episode from InfoSec for to see. And today we are going to continue with our MITRE attack framework. And today we have a new interesting topic. And this topic we're going to talk about resistance techniques. And really, it's very, very fun technique that the attacker always use in order to, have a foothold in our devices if already got an access. Okay, so let's go and start with why attacker here use persistence technique. But before we starting with persistence technique, I need to go with a quick recap about uh, hacking methodology here. And methodology means the steps that the attacker follow in order to execute a successful activity. So yeah, here is the steps that he follow in order to complete his attack. Okay, so the attacker, as we know, usually, not usually, but it's mandatory to start with information gathering. Information gathering means attackers start collecting data about the target, like IP address, usernames, emails, for example, leak data, if there is any leak data, and so on. And once he got all this information, he moved to the second step. And the second step will be scanning those IP address, for example, or scanning the domain or subdomains that he collected before using a different techniques. And once he know the live target, for example, he start to scan this target and check which port is open, what is the service running on each port, and what is the operating system, if there is any vulnerability related to this technology, to this service, to this operating system, and so on. And if you find any weak point, that's a great point here. He will use it in order to gain access. Once he get access, okay, he need to collect information from the target machine. But what if this scenario happen here in this image? Okay, the victim start terminating, or pull the power cord from from the wall here. As you see, we are going to lose everything, right? We are going to lose everything. So the attacker really need to use a great technique here, and this technique called a persistence technique. So attacker use persistence technique to maintain their foothold on the compromised system even after the system reboot or a user logout. And this is allows them to continue their operation, like, yeah, if they want to exfiltrate data, if they want to doing some lateral movement. And lateral movement meaning he jumping or moving from device to another device. So you need to compromise a lot of devices in the network. For example, maybe you can find something interesting in other device, and so on. Or maybe he need to do some privilege escalation. And privilege escalation mean um, you are now a user, and from this user you need to obtain a second user. Maybe this second user can see or deal with different file, for example. Or maybe you need to elevate your privilege from a normal user to administrator, and it depends here on the access that you had before. Okay, we have a lot of persistence technique. We can modify registry, and we saw that before with Inj Ahmed Thabit in the Blue Team session before. We can create a schedule task that execute our backdoor, for example, and that we are going to cover today. We're going to inject the code into a running process, or we can exploit an operating system feature that automatically run programs. And yeah, this is a great way to achieve uh, resistance. Okay, so again, persistence, it's very, very interesting technique. It's like a snapshot or a save button that you use in order to jump again to the victim machine. Okay, so I hope that clear. So as I mentioned, we are going to cover today a MITRE attack technique T110 or 10, sorry, 53. And this technique here is related to a scheduled task. And as I mentioned, it's a method which can be used by adversary to facilitate initial, uh, or execution of a malicious code here. And this is technique aim for a persistency. Okay, so schedule task from its name, it's related to a schedule. Okay, so adversary use a task scheduling to execute a program as a system startup on a schedule basis for persistence. And yeah, this is a great mechanism which can also be abused to run a process under the context of a specified account if a user administrator himself on. And we still also have another techniques like AT, cron, schedule task, system D timers, container orchestration job, and we can really find all these techniques from the attack MITRE link, which provided here in our slides. Okay, so let me open this link here. No, it's not a question time right now, but I will open the link. Just give me a second, and I will show you the code that the attacker usually use in order to achieve persistency. Just give me 1 second. So I believe now all of you can see my screen. Perfect. So yeah, here is my screen, and this is a GitHub link from Red Canary. If you didn't play with Red Canary before, it's a tool for Red team emulation. It's similar to Caldera if you heard about Caldera before. But let me show you actually how the attacker can achieve the persistency here. So here is a description from Attack MITRE, and you can also find um, um, you can find also more information from the actual framework. But just give me 1 second. I need to make sure that all of you can see my screen. So please could you confirm in the chat button, in the chat form, that you can see my Firefox page? I'm now presenting the StreamYard page. Okay, I believe there is a little bit of delay here. Yes, perfect, perfect. You can see my screen. So yeah, here is a description from Attack MITRE, and you can also find description from the actual framework if you find or if you go Google attackmitreframework.com. Okay, so let me show you here a command that can the attacker really use in order to achieve persistency. So if you see here, schedule task. Yeah, this is the main command which used to create or yeah, delete, query, change, run, schedule task on a local or remote computer. So yeah, this is a very, very interesting command. You can also use this command if you're working in a SOC or a forensic or incident response, for example, in order to check what is a scheduled task running on the device. But I'm not going to talk about or cover any, blue team activity. I will leave everything related to blue team activity to Mr. Ahmed Thabit. So here we are going to cover how really the attacker can use this technique in order to launch the attacks that we're covering here. So SC task, as I said, it's a main command, and the attacker used to create. And create, this is an option or flag if you want to, you know, set, for example, which create a new and schedule task. And we have the TN, and this is string here, and this is specifies the name of that task. Okay, so yeah, we need to run these tasks. And sc, the script that we want, the schedule command, we have on login here, and which set the schedule type to on login, which means the task will run each time any user log on. And we have the trcmd.exe followed by /c calc.exe, and here specify the operation or the command which performed. So in this case here, we will open the CMD and execute the calculator command in order to open the calculator application. So yeah, that's very a great command, and you can run it as a root, for example. So we have also another command, but I believe all of you now already familiar with the schedule task script. You can check Red Canary, you can check Caldera, you can check any other GitHub repository in order to pick the right command. Or maybe you can go to MITRE ATT&CK, as I mentioned. And from MITRE ATT&CK, let me go up. We have persistence. So yeah, schedule task. And from schedule task, as you see here, we have 5 technique. We have add, we have cron tab, schedule task that we are going to cover, system, D, timer, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, here is some malwares like Lockbot, for example, RAMSec, and so on. And really, we can check the procedure or the tools or the executed command that they used before in order to achieve persistency. So I really recommend to spend more time in MITRE ATT&CK. It will give you uh, a good amount of information related to the attacker's procedure and what they use to achieve their tasks. So yeah, we did cover the attack MITRE, and I did show you how to take the command from a red canary. Also, red canary contain a lot of useful other command, and yeah, I really recommend to go and check all of these command. So yeah, so if you have now any question, you're most welcome. And that's about persistency, how the attacker really use persistency. Mr. Ahmed Thabit did cover before how to use a registry to cover or hide your attack, for example. And if you want to, use the same command, just create a virtual machine using VirtualBox or VMware, whatever the virtualization software you use, and just copy the command. And yeah, there is also a clean code if you're afraid there is something bad gonna happen into your machine. So yeah, don't worry. Just take a snapshot, and if something bad, you can retrieve the snapshot or using the clean command from Attack MITRE or Red Canary. You're welcome. So yeah, if you have any question, I'm here. Mr. Bakri said, okay, can I use this script to attack a company that I really don't like? Actually, the attacker, yeah, they can use this command in order to achieve persistency. Yeah, it's a valid code, but if there is something bad happen, okay, I'm not gonna say your name, okay? I'm not gonna say your name is Bakr. You're welcome, Muhammad. Okay, any other question? Yeah, I have a bit of delay here between the question and the answer. Bakr. Yeah, you can still use these techniques in your red team activity, Bakr. So yeah, don't worry. Or you can create your own lab. Yeah, thank you, Mimi, so much. Thank you. Okay, so please, if you have any other question, just drop in the chat box. And I'm really happy to answer all of your question if it's related to today's topic or any other topics that you want to discuss. Yeah, thank you, Bakr. Thank you so much. So it seems there is no other question. So okay, so that's it. And I hope see you see all of you next session. And really I'm pleased to have all of you today. So yeah, have a great day.